Prep. I'm Nivedita Raje, your legal reasoning expert, and today is the part 2 of important discussion of sub uh, topics of tort law, not contract, tort law. Right, so we have already discussed two of the very most important concept of this law, like one of the two. There are many other concepts which are equally important. पर हमने दो लास्ट टाइम डिस्कस किए थे, आज भी हम एक कंसेप्ट डिस्कस करेंगे, बहुत ज्यादा जरूरी है और अक्सर न्यूज में भी आ जाता है. तो यस, हेलो एवरीवन, गुड इवनिंग, गुड इवनिंग. So before we begin, you should know that we have launched a crash course for CLAT 22. CLAT is right around the corner. It is high time that you prepare properly, and trust me when I say this, without proper guidance, it's very difficult to prepare for a competition. Guidance is the key. No matter how hard you work, you still need to be guided by somebody who has been through that journey, right? Also, we have launched a comprehensive course for CLAT 23, right? And today we are going to discuss the law of defamation, the kinds of defamation, the essentials, and the defenses that are available. Okay. To discuss or to know about this topic in detail, you would obviously have to subscribe to our course. But the major idea of what defamation is and what are the kinds or what are the essentials, what are the ingredients that have to be fulfilled so as to construe that yes, defamation has been committed, and what are the defenses available against it. Good evening, good evening. I'm doing pretty great. Thank you so much. Right? So what exactly is defamation? What do we understand from this word defamation? Anybody? Anybody at all? No? See, Indian Penal Code refers to injury of three kinds, right? Well, the injury is defined and injury is divided into three kinds of injury. Injury of body, injury of property, and injury of reputation. So injury of reputation is also a certain kind of injury. Body and property is also obviously defined as offenses, damage, fame. Exactly, yes. Not fame, Belinda. It's not about the fame. It's not somebody famous that can be defamed. No. Okay. Okay, you're breaking the word. Okay, I got it. Basically, when you destroy somebody's reputation, reputation is the name or the standing of a person in the society. How society perceives him to be. What kind of a person is he considered to be by the members of the society, by his neighborhood? That is what reputation is. तुम्हारी नेबरहुड के, कॉलोनी के लोग, मतलब जितनी भी तुम्हारी गैदरिंग है, जितने भी लोग तुम्हें जानते हैं, वो तुम्हें किस तरह का इंसान समझते हैं, वही रेपुटेशन है. So it's not necessary that you would always have a good reputation. Obviously, somebody might be famous as a miser, कि बहुत कंजूस आदमी, बिल्कुल एक पैसा नहीं निकालना चाहता. You never know, right? Somebody might be perceived as a very nice individual who is always ready to help somebody or the other, right? So that is what reputation is, how society looks at you. Okay, now if somebody disrupts that reputation, makes a statement in an oral form or a written form, and that statement affects your reputation in a way that you start getting avoided by that society, or the society starts hating you or starts talking behind your back, and your reputation is completely destroyed because of that statement, we call that act an act of defamation. And the statements that have led to that reputation or that bad reputation, we call these statements defamatory statements. Everybody clear? Any doubt whatsoever till now? ठीक है, हिंदी में भी समझ लो। अगर कोई ऐसा स्टेटमेंट है जो बोला गया है या लिखा गया है या किसी भी तरह से कुछ भी आया है जिससे आदमी को सोसाइटी जिस तरह से देख रही थी वही चेंज हो जाता है, लोग उसे अवॉइड करना शुरू कर देते हैं, लोग उसके पीछे बात करना शुरू कर देते हैं, उसे उसकी बदनामी हो जाती है, उसे नफरत करने लगते हैं, उसे नापसंद करने लगते हैं, हम कहते हैं कि वो आदमी बदनाम हो गया है, और इसी बदनामी को डेफेमेशन कहा जाता है। Got it? Now, what are the kinds of defamation? Essentially, Indian law recognizes two kinds of defamation, right? They are libel and slander. So slander refers to a defamation which is oral in nature. So if you say something, if you make a defamatory statement using the word of mouth, and that defamatory statement is made in front of 2 or 3 people, or before a large gathering, or before public or multiple people, दैट इज व्हाट वी कॉल स्लैंडर। तुमने अगर बोल के किसी को बदनाम किया है लोगों के सामने, ठीक है, बहुत सारे लोग हैं, 3 4 6 लोग हैं या पूरी पब्लिक है, तुमने नारेबाजी कर दी या फिर किसी के खिलाफ भाषण दे दिया, वो स्लैंडर होता है, right? When you defame somebody, when you injure somebody's reputation using your words, and that too orally. Okay, words can be written also, but when you orally defame somebody, we call it slander. So slander is defamation. The essential of defamation basically, whenever especially slander, is that the words should be spoken to somebody who is not you. What I'm trying to say is that you cannot defame a person in a private room, right? बदनामी का मतलब ही ये है कि सोसाइटी में बात फैल गई। डेफेमेशन एसेंशियली रेफर्स टू एन एक्ट व्हिच लीड्स टू रिडिक्यूल इन द सोसाइटी, so the statement has to reach the society. So for example, if you are fighting with somebody, accusing them, abusing them, raising questions on their characters, etc., whatever, in a closed room where nobody else can hear you, it is not defamation, because nobody can hear you, because the words, the accusations, the character assassination, nothing whatsoever is reaching the society. Nobody else knows that you have to listen to all that crap. Got it? Everybody? Good. Now we come to libel. So slander, I told you, oral. It can be a speech. Okay, it can be a defamatory speech, or two people talking behind your back to other two people who will start talking to other people behind your back. चेन से चेन जुड़ी, एक से दूसरे ने कहा, दूसरे ने तीसरे से कहा, तो ये स्लैंडर है। लिबेल क्या है? लिबेल इज मोर परमानेंट kind of defamation. So slander is something when you speak something, but libel refers to a defamation which has a more permanent character. How do words attain a permanent character? How do you think words attain a permanent character? When they live for long, when they attain a form, right? When they have a structure. How do they gain a structure? When they are written. Got it. So libel is a kind of a defamation which is basically on a piece of paper, or which has attained a form that will not be that cannot be curbed. Like words will be forgotten by people, definitely. But if something attains a more permanent form, it will keep circulating in the society. That is what libel is. So we are not talking about a publication only when it comes to libel. It is not just a defamatory article or a statement or anything that is published in a magazine or a newspaper. No. Even a song can be defamatory and it will be a libel. Even a movie, a documentary, anything, it can, a theater drama, that is also defamation, and that is a libellous form of defamation. Why? Movie mein to people are speaking, in a documentary, in a theater drama, people are speaking. Why isn't it slander? Why is it libel? Tell me. Even in music, people are singing. How is it libel and not slander? Belinda? Because it is written first, right? You cannot make music without putting it on a piece of paper. You cannot just ask a person to speak extempore. You need to give them a script. It happens everywhere. It happens in a movie, it happens in a drama, it happens in a documentary. Everything is first written on a piece of paper and the script is distributed to the actors, and that is why it is libellous and it is not a slander. Got it? And it is more permanent in nature. So even a cartoon, a defamatory cartoon will be libel because it is more permanent in nature. Yes, exactly. Moving on. So what are the essentials? It was not against anyone. Defamation, I don't understand. Okay. So what are the essentials of defamation? Defamation basically has to be a statement which concerns a person and exposes him to hatred, ridicule or contempt, or causes him to be shunned or avoided, or which has a tendency to injure him in his office, professional or trade, right? So defamatory statement has to be a statement which exposes him to a part of the society which starts hating him, which starts shunning him or avoiding him. If nobody cares, the statement is not defamatory, right? The second essential is that statement has to be a false statement that leads to people discrediting him or people taking him in a negative manner. The statement has to be a false statement. The third essential is, would the words tend to lower the plaintiff in the estimation of right-thinking members of the society generally? It is the most complicated essential, meaning thereby that if, let's say, somebody says something, so if that word or that publication reaches other reasonable members of the society or right thinking members of the society or men who are just, would that affect them? Would that statement affect them to act or treat that person differently? That is the question of fact, and that essentially decides whether an act is a defamation or not. मतलब अगर किसी ने कुछ कहा या फिर लिख दिया, वो वर्ड्स चाहे वो कागज पे थे चाहे कहे गए थे, अगर किसी दूसरे आदमी तक पहुंचते हैं, एक राइट थिंकिंग आदमी जो जस्ट है, जो रीजनेबल है, तो उसका रिएक्शन क्या होगा? क्या वो उस आदमी को गलत नजरिए से देखने लगेगा या फिर उसके अकॉर्डिंग उस आदमी की जो रेपुटेशन है वो डिस्ट्रॉय हो जाएगी? क्या वो उसे नेगेटिवली ट्रीट करने लगेगा? अगर इसका जवाब हाँ है तो फिर स्टेटमेंट डेफेमेटरी है, अदरवाइज नहीं। ठीक है, ये it is not a subjective thing that, some people are just really insensitive. Let's say that A tells C that B is losing hair and C tells D that B is losing hair. Now, would that in any manner whatsoever affect B's reputation that he might be going bald? But B is a sensitive person and he thinks that now he is defamed as a bald person. और उसे गंजे के रूप में जाने लगा है और सब उसे बॉल्ड 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 बुलाएंगे और वो अफेक्ट हो जाता है, वो डेफेमेशन का सूट फाइल कर देता है, एफआईआर कर देता है। अब मेरा क्वेश्चन है, क्या ये डेफेमेशन होगा? नहीं होगा। क्यों? क्योंकि किसी और कोई भी राइट थिंकिंग आदमी उस बी को लेकर एक नेगेटिव थॉट प्रोसेस नहीं क्रिएट करेगा जस्ट बिकॉज ही इज लूजिंग हेयर. So it does not matter whether or not the person thinks if he has been defamed or if that affects his reputation. It is what the society would think, would decide whether the statement is defamatory or not. Got it, everyone? Anybody, any doubt whatsoever? Good. Now, so the defamation must essentially fulfill the following requirements. The statement has to be defamatory, like I told you. The statement must refer to the plaintiff. So it has to be proved that the statement was directly linking the plaintiff to the scenario. You must be speaking about the same person who has instituted the suit of defamation. And the burden of proof lies on the person who has been defamed. He has to prove that whatever the statement was made was actually referred to him. Right? For libel, the statement has to be published. Unless there is a publication, there cannot be a circulation. And unless there is a circulation, it cannot be defamation. So let's say that I wrote a letter to B. I wrote a letter to B criticizing C's behavior. Now this letter is kept with B only and is not circulated. Do you think this is defamation? Exactly. It is not defamation. Why? Because there is no circulation. Yes, even if it is written on a piece of paper, it is not circulation. Just telling somebody or sharing something with somebody is not defamation. It has to affect the society. It has to affect the reputation. But let's extend the scenario. He starts talking about the same thing to other people. Then it becomes defamation. Right? Now, what are the defenses available against it? There are many defenses available in the criminal law, but these are the general defenses. The first is truth. Whatever statement you are making, if it is true in nature, if you are able to prove that whatever you said was true, it is not defamation. Let's say A warns C. Okay, let's say that there's an office. C is a newly employed fresher who is attractive and very young, and she is working under B, who is known to be a man of bad character. Okay. Now A, another woman who has been working in the same office for a long time, warns C to stay away from B because he's a kind of a lech and might exploit C in her young age. Now C shares this with another person, and departmental disciplinary inquiries are instituted against B based on the statements made by A. Now my question is, if this statement turns out to be true, that B was actually a man of bad character, he actually used to or even exploited other women in the past, will A still be liable for defamation? The answer is no. अगर इस स्टेटमेंट जो बनाया गया है, स्टेटमेंट जो दिया गया है, चाहे लिखा गया है, चाहे बोला गया है, अगर वो सच है तो फिर डेफेमेशन नहीं होता. तो अगर कल को ए सी को वार्न कर देती है कि बी से दूर रहो, अच्छा आदमी नहीं है, लड़कियों को एक्सप्लॉइट करता है, और ये बात वाकई सच है, वो वाकई उसकी एक हिस्ट्री है एक्सप्लॉइटेशन की, तो फिर ए पर डेफेमेशन का चार्ज नहीं आएगा. ठीक है. इसी से सेकंड इससे सेकंड डिफेंस भी टच करता है. इफ द स्टेटमेंट इज मेड इन पब्लिक गुड, डेफेमेशन इज अ क्राइम एज वेल एज टॉर्ट. सो द इंटेंशन हैज टू बी damaging somebody's reputation. If the intention is not to damage a reputation but to make the public aware of something, or a statement is made in the interest of public, then it is not defamatory. There has to be an intention of destroying a reputation by making false statement. बदनामी के लिए जरूरी है कि तुमने उसी इंटेंशन के साथ बोला है कि आदमी की बदनामी हो जाए. अगर किसी की भलाई के लिए कोई स्टेटमेंट बोला है तो वो बदनामी नहीं है. जैसे ए ने सी को वार्न किया कि बी से दूर रहो, तो यहाँ पे वो सी का भला चाह रही थी, राइट? उसका मेजर ऑब्जेक्टिव इन द अबव सिनेरियो दैट वी डिस्कस्ड, ए व्हेन warned C against B, she was not doing it to defame B. The ultimate objective was to save C, to save C's dignity, to save her from exploitation. So basically the intention is construed from the facts and circumstances. Why did the person even make that statement? Was the intention to destroy the reputation, or was it made in the public good? If it is latter, it is not defamation. If it is former, it is defamation. Got it? Third is, since you have Article 90, right to free speech and expression, you have a fundamental freedom to express your opinion. So if you do express your opinion and you make it fairly, touching a person who is a public person and you make it public also, then also it is not defamation. So for example, if you express your opinion over a government policy which you think is violative of right to equality of, or which might uh, incite communal violence, and you make a fair comment on it, it is not defamatory. You are entitled to opinion, to express your opinion, and if you do that, it is not defamation. ठीक है जी? Everybody clear? Good. So these are the defenses. We have launched an express course for MHCET, ALET, SLAT, BLAT, JAMIA. Very important exams, equally as important as a national university exam, which is CLAT. Do prepare for them. We have also launched a booster course on legal current affairs and current affairs. There are multiple batches running for the same batch. You can think about joining it. Legal current affairs is a tricky area, right? And that is it for today, guys. Thank you so much. I shall meet you again on Thursday, the landmark case, which is going to be as good as the last one. So everybody, till then, take care. Bye-bye.